General Hospital spoilers tease that the weeks ahead, from May 12th through May 23rd, will bring heartbreak, betrayal, and high-stakes confrontations across Port Charles. As the drama intensifies, familiar faces will be forced to confront their deepest fears, while new alliances, both dangerous and unexpected, threaten to upend every relationship in town. In the first of two sweeping installments, we follow the emotional fallout rocking Trina Robinson, Drew Cain's covert investigation, and the fragile ties binding Curtis Ashford, Jordan, and Portia. Then we turn to Michael and Willow's fractured reunion, Emma's calculated revenge, and the tensions simmering between Jason, Carly, and Sunny. Buckle up, these next 2 weeks promise seismic shifts in every corner of General Hospital. The week opens with Trina Robinson pacing the halls of General Hospital, her anxiety mounting with every passing hour. Her new boyfriend, Kai Taylor, has emerged from a risky surgery only to face what the doctors fear is impending paralysis, or worse. We've watched Trina grow from a bright-eyed teen into a young woman of steely resolve, and now her faith will be tested like never before. Kai's post-operative complications threaten to leave him stranded in a body that may never move again, and Trina's heartbreak at the possibility of losing him to permanent immobility, or even death, resurfaces old wounds of love lost. In sleepless nights, she revisits memories of him smiling before the anesthesia, hearts brimming with hope for his recovery. But as monitors beep and complications mount, Trina's optimism cracks. She steers between medical jargon and prayers, torn between demanding updates from anxious doctors and offering Kai the warmth that might coax him back to life. When complications spike, bleeding in the spinal cavity, a dangerous infection. Trina fears she has failed in love yet again, replaying past losses as she sits vigil by his bedside. The viewers will feel every tremor of her heartbreak, every tear as it falls, and every prayer whispered into the sterile hospital air. Through flashbacks, we relive Kai's charm and resilience, their first date at Charlie's pub, his stolen kiss in the rain, and the promise they made under Port Charles's skyline. Now, with Kai's fate uncertain, Trina must decide, will she cling to hope or brace herself for a world forever changed? Meanwhile, across town, Drew Cain is hot on the trail of a conspiracy that reaches to the highest echelons of Portia Robinson's world and beyond. His reckoning begins with a solitary question: why have Portia and Nina Reeves suddenly become inseparable allies? As Drew delves into hospital logs, witness statements, and grainy security footage, a chilling picture emerges. The two women have worked in concert to manipulate evidence, silence witnesses, and line up Portia's enemies for blackmail. Blowing the lid off this duo would bring them both to justice, at least in theory, but Drew has other motives. He carefully compiles his dossier, weighing every piece of evidence, every overheard conversation, and every furtive glance exchanged by Portia and Nina. In the dark corridors of GH, he confronts Nina first, catching her as she slips into an empty exam room. Though she's unaware her treachery has been exposed, her panic is palpable when she realizes Drew holds the smoking gun, records of her communications with Portia. Yet Drew remains silent, allowing Nina to squirm under his measured scrutiny. Across town, Portia senses the walls closing in but refuses to cave. With her secret blackmailer breathing down her neck, she pursues ever more extreme measures: secret late-night meetings, concealed phone calls, and threats whispered through locked doors. Drew, ever the strategist, avoids the glare of publicity. Arresting Portia and Nina outright would only alert higher-ups who have skin in the game. Instead, he rigs the pieces on his own chessboard, positioning Portia to pull the final self-destructive move. And unbeknownst to Nina, who still believes she's in control, Drew has already tracked down Jacinda, the key witness who can confirm Nina's darkest deeds. As dread seeps into Portia's sleep, Drew prepares to spring his trap, ensuring that neither woman walks free when the dust settles. In the quiet aftermath of revelations, Curtis Ashford finds himself at an emotional crossroads. He's discovered that his wife, Portia, has been hiding the blackmail from him, leaving him feeling betrayed on two fronts, by her deception and by the secret life he never suspected she led. The once unshakable bond between them now creaks under the weight of lies and half-truths. One late evening, Curtis seeks solace in the one person who might understand, his former flame, Jordan Ashford. Under the soft glow of street lamps near Kelly's, he pours out the turmoil in his heart. His fear that Portia's lies point to deeper fissures in their marriage, and his confusion over where his loyalty should lie. Jordan listens, her own heart stirring with the intimacy of shared confidences and the history they once had. She offers Curtis a lifeline of clarity. Honesty must be the foundation of any future, whether with Portia or apart. Yet Jordan's composed counsel masks her own suppressed hope that maybe, just maybe, fate is granting her a second chance with the man she never quite stopped loving. Curtis, torn between guilt and relief, grapples with a decision that could fracture his family forever. Should he fight for his marriage to Portia, risking further deceit? Or surrender to the possibility that his heart and Jordan's might find new life beyond the ruins of their past? As the first week draws to a close, the tension between loyalty and betrayal takes its cruelest form. Michael Corinthos places a call to Willow Corinthos, shattering the silence that's kept them apart. From the moment Willow stepped off the plane in Germany, her heart beat for the chance to reconcile with the man she still loves and still trusts above all others. Yet some unseen force kept Michael away, a dark hand guiding events to keep these star-crossed lovers apart. On the call, Michael's voice trembles with regret. He never meant to stand Willow up, and he had no knowledge of her trip overseas until after she arrived. Promising to uncover the truth, he vows to trace every thread of deceit, starting with whoever sabotaged their reunion. Willow, on the other end, fights to keep hope alive even as suspicion creeps in. Could the villain be someone she knows? Someone in GH's inner circle, lurking behind a smile? As Michael begins to investigate. From questioning hospital administrators to reviewing travel logs, Willow braces herself for the inevitable revelation that the architect of this heartbreak might be the very man Michael trusts most, Drew Kane. And when that truth comes to light, it will threaten not only their fragile rapprochement, but also the alliances Drew has worked so hard to conceal. In the wake of Willow and Michael's tentative reconnection, Emma Scorpio Drake embarks on a vendetta of her own. Burned once by Jocelyn Jax's sabotage, when her crucial USB drive vanished in a puff of smoke, Emma has spent sleepless nights plotting retribution. With cool precision, she retraces the code and contents of the destroyed drive, then gleans the intimate data that Jocelyn rifled through, notes on covert WSB operations, dossiers on international arms dealers, and evidence that could topple powerful players in Port Charles. When Emma finally confronts the truth that it was Jocelyn who altered Emma's digital landscape, her measured fury ignites. She crafts a plan to undermine Jocelyn's credentials, an alluring invitation to Professor Henry Dalton's prestigious research lab. Emma knows that Jocelyn has coveted this assistantship above all else, dreaming of the academic prestige it would confer. So Emma lays a trap, flirting just enough with Professor Dalton to make him doubt Jocelyn's suitability. Rumor spreads that Jocelyn's USB mishap was no accident, but a symptom of recklessness. And to humiliate her further, Emma publicly accedes to Dalton's offer, promising to assist him on groundbreaking genetic research. Jocelyn arrives at her scheduled meeting with WSB Director Jack Brennan, only to find herself blindsided by whispers in the hallway, curt nods from colleagues, and a silent reminder that her mission has failed. As Brennan's disappointed gaze lingers on her resume, Jocelyn realizes that Emma's vengeance may cost her everything she's worked for. Her career, her dreams, and her reputation in Port Charles. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan seeks counsel with Carly Spencer about the latest twist in Sonny Corinthos' machinations. It seems Sunny has forged an unlikely alliance with Jen Sidwell, an international business magnate whose generosity masks tangled motives. Jason, ever Sunny's enforcer and moral compass in equal measure, tried and failed to dissuade his boss from aligning with the enigmatic tycoon. Now, Jason pleads with Carly, Sunny's trusted confidant, to intervene. In Carly's living room, they replay the stakes. Jen's strategic investments threaten to reshape Port Charles's power structure, placing innocent lives in the crossfire. Yet Carly's attempt to sway Sunny falters. His devotion to family safety outweighs any cautionary counsel. Sunny believes that by joining forces with Jen's, he will shield his loved ones from looming threats, organized crime rivals, vengeful enemies, and political adversaries. His resolve is unshakable, even as Jason warns that Jen's true agenda may leave them all vulnerable. As Carly confronts Sunny in his office, her voice quivers with a rare blend of fear and fury. "This isn't just business, Sunny. It's our lives you're gambling with." But Sunny's hardened gaze betrays no regret, only determination. "If I pull back now," he replies, "I condemn everyone I love to the brink of ruin." Carly retreats, torn between loyalty and dread, while Jason contemplates his next move: protect Sunny from himself, or stand ready to save him from the fallout. Further complicating matters, Dante Falconeri receives unexpected counsel from both Sunny and, surprisingly, Gio Palmieri. Dante's transgressions, an accident that left Joe's brother injured, have burdened him with guilt, threatening his career as a dedicated detective. Sunny approaches Dante privately, offering an olive branch. He will speak to Gio on Dante's behalf, believing that mercy and solidarity among Port Charles's protectors must prevail. Hesitant but hopeful, Dante agrees. Yet when Sunny delivers his appeal, Joe's response is icy. "I don't forgive so easily," he snaps, his anger as sharp as a winter gale. Sunny returns to Dante solemn. "Sometimes," he admits, "you can't fix what you've broken." Dante's anguish deepens, his badge feels heavier, tarnished by an act that may cost him both justice and friendship. In contrast, Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis find themselves at the center of unexpected gossip. Invited to the pre-nurses' ball festivities, the two friends arrive arm in arm, only to be mistaken for a new romantic pair. Laughter bubbles up among the assembled nurses, and whispers swirl. "Molly and Cody, what's the scoop?" Cody clears his throat, cheeks pink, as he tries to clarify their platonic bond. But Molly, ever the schemer, savors the confusion. With a mischievous glint in her eye, she leans into the ruse, letting imaginations run wild. As the party's lights glitter and music swells, Cody's protests grow more frantic while Molly's excitement mounts. Could this game of make-believe lead to something real? Or will the aftermath of the nurses' ball see them paying the price for a fantasy that spun wildly out of control? Finally, Alexis Davis finds herself stymied in her latest attempt to reason with Rick Lansing. The two sat in tense discussion at Charlie's, Alexis's plea for understanding drowned out by Rick's stoicism. When Ava Jerome storms in furious at learning of the private meeting between her rival and her ex, she issues a fresh ultimatum. Alexis will comply with Ava's new terms for the blackmail scheme or face devastating exposure. Alexis, steeled by decades of courtroom battles, clenches her jaw. She realizes that negotiation alone will not suffice. She must outmaneuver Ava at her own game, turning threats into leverage before her secrets become front-page headlines. Over these two transformative weeks, General Hospital's tapestry is rewoven with threads of love betrayed, alliances forged in shadows, and vendettas that sting like poison. As May 23rd approaches, viewers will watch Trina's vigil for Kai, Drew's silent takeover of Portia and Nina's fates, Curtis and Jordan's tentative hope, and Michael and Willow's quest for truth. Parallel to these emotional odysseys, Emma's revenge, Jason and Carly's desperate pleas, Dante's quest for redemption, The playful sparks between Cody and Molly and Alexis's legal gambit converge in a crescendo of suspense. In Port Charles, nothing stays buried forever. And when every secret emerges, only those brave enough to face the fallout will survive. Stay tuned. The next chapter promises even greater shocks as fortunes shift, hearts crack, and legacies are irrevocably changed.